Hey everyone, I want to share with you a brand new update to ZimmWriter that really gives it superpowers. This is dangerous, actually. This is really dangerous. Look at this photo. This is a product review article. ZimmWriter, my AI writing software, wrote this entire thing, and it created an image of me using the product being reviewed, all done automatically. I didn't have to lift a finger. All right. And here's the actual product right here. It's on Amazon. It's a Husqvarna chainsaw. And that's me. I'm using a chainsaw to cut a birthday cake. Obviously, it's like a funny image or whatnot, but that's amazing. Like a week ago, we could not do something to this quality. This is actually amazing. It says world's best dad on the coffee mug. And this is a product review that ZimmWriter wrote all by itself. So if you're like doing affiliate stuff, this is going to change the game, completely change the game. This is a product Roundup article that ZimmWriter also wrote. Again, completely automatically. I didn't have to do anything, didn't have to edit it. Now, here are all the different products in here. There's this kids bow and arrow set. This is this fidget spinner thing, kids basketball. And I chose the option inside of ZimmWriter to use the first product, the image of the first product from Amazon. So here's the Amazon product, and then combine it with an image of me, and I'm using the product right now. Like, how awesome is that? Like, it's dangerous at the same time because you're not going to know if this person really used. I did not use this bow and arrow. I did not use this bow and arrow. You're not going to know anymore. It's pretty crazy stuff. This is an info article, just a regular info article. I'm not selling anything, not advertising any affiliate links in this article. 5 ideas to elevate your yard with a motorized pergola. Look at that. I'm sitting under this awesome pergola right now. Design an all-weather outdoor dining experience. There I am. I'm sitting having dinner all by my lonesome, right? Create a spa-inspired relaxation retreat. I am jealous of my AI doppelganger. But look at this. Like, this is amazing. It's all done automatically. Here's another example, smart strategies to boost your intelligence. Another example of just an info article, but I seeded it with an image of me, and then the AI automatically created all of these different scenes that are relevant for the subsection that the AI is writing about. Here's another product review. I'm playing with the Transformers toy. You're never too old to play with the Transformers toy. Here's the actual toy from Amazon. So again, I selected the banana model, and I used an image of myself and then an image of the toy itself from Amazon, and then I made this image. But again, I didn't make it. ZimmWriter did. I didn't have to do anything. It was all automatically. And then if we really want to dial this up a notch, and I'll show you how I do all this stuff. If you really want to dial it up, you can even do recipes now. You can do recipes with either a photo of yourself or an AI avatar of whomever. So I have this image of myself. ZimmWriter is cooking. All of these images were just one base image. I did not upload myself wearing an apron and all that stuff. I told the AI, hey, have me wearing a blue apron that says ZimmWriter is cooking. It did all this automatically. And what's wild is, this is a recipe post. ZimmWriter did deep research to find an actual recipe online. Right? This recipe, these actual ingredients were fed into the image model to generate an image that accurately depicts what we're cooking. So again, here's another image of me making this French toast. Here's another example. I'm making these buffalo wings. I did some deep research, find the actual recipe, feed it into the image, and then we get something just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I'm making it over here. We got Frank's Red Hot Sauce. Look at this. Incredible, absolutely incredible. There's more examples. You can go to this site I have. It's a test site of just different demonstrations of the kind of stuff that ZimmWriter wrote. AIblogpostwriter.com, AIblogpostwriter.com. You scroll down and you click on reference images. And there's all kinds of examples in here. I try to do silly stuff because people like fun, silly stuff. So here I am. I'm using a ladder. This is a product review or product roundup of 5 best 10-foot extension ladders. I'm like, I don't know, using a ladder to touch the top of mailbox, which makes no sense. I'm mowing the lawn over here with this Greenworks lawnmower while the homeowner's inside being lazy. I'm taking care of a newborn. I'm shooting a gun. Really amazing stuff. So check it out at your leisure. Now, let me show you how I did some of this stuff because you're probably going to have questions. I'm assuming you're familiar with ZimmWriter. Some of this stuff, it's not advanced, but you're going to have to pause the video, take some screenshots, digest how we're doing all this stuff. So first of all, obviously you'll need ZimmWriter, you'll need a text API key. I recommend getting an Open Router API key. And then you need an image API key. I highly recommend Runware AI. You can't use what I'm showing you without Runware. You got to use Runware. So there are 6 models that allow you to upload reference images. I call these reference images, images of yourself, images of a product. And those models are Seed Dream 4, and each image is 3 pennies for that. Nano Banana 3 Pro, and the images vary depending on the resolution for Nano Banana 3 Pro. For a 4K image, it's a quarter. All right, for a 2K image, it's a little bit less. For a 1K image, it's a little bit less. Nano Banana 2.5 Flash, that's actually pretty good. It's 4 pennies an image. It's actually pretty good, but obviously nothing can compare to Nano Banana 3 Pro. And there's Flux Context Max, Flux Context Pro, and Flux Context Dev. These are nowhere near the quality of Nano Banana 3 Pro, but maybe they fit your needs. So those are the image models that you can do this with. All of these tests that I did were with Nano Banana 3 Pro. So let's talk about doing an info article right now with this. So you'll put your title of your article in, you'll go over here and you'll select Nano Banana 3 Pro, and you'll click the O button. And you can choose your aspect ratio and all that stuff in here. And remember, for Nano Banana 3 Pro, the prices, all of these are a quarter an image for 4K, right? But you dial it down to 2K or 1K, even though my software won't reflect the price change, right? You will be paying less for it. So you'll select your resolution, and then you'll have to choose some options down here. Now, this option doesn't apply to the bulk writer. It only applies to the Penny Arcade or product roundups, which we'll talk about in a minute. The two things in the bulk writer that you can play with here are a JPEG from a URL and JPEG from a local file. So as an example, if you had an Amazon product that you wanted to load the URL to, you could do that. Or maybe you had a URL to an image of yourself or something like that. You can put that in here. You can also load an image locally if you have an image on your computer or something. The only difference is you're loading a local file, you're capped at 1 megabyte. So the images have to be under a megabyte. But if you're loading from the URL, they can be whatever you want. Both of them have to be JPEG files, like JPG. They can't be other formats. So just keep that stuff in mind. But you can load up to 3 images in here for all of the models except for Context Dev, which only accepts 1 reference image. Let's just do an image from a URL. I'll just load my image right here. So I can come in here and I can take my image, go over to ZimmWriter, and just put this right here, and then we'll save choices. Now that we've identified our reference image, we have to create a custom prompt for our image model. If we don't do this, you're not going to get yourself or whatever that reference image is into the image that you're actually creating. Let me show you what I mean. So let's go over here, click the P for prompt, and we're going to load a prompt blog post. Here we go. So describe a photograph for a blog post about title. Titles are placeholder. Title is going to be the title of the thing over here, which is going to be how to wash a dog. So ZimmWriter will automatically replace this on the back end when it's generating. So describe a photograph for a blog post about title. The photograph contains, amongst other things, a man. Now you need to understand something. If you're new to ZimmWriter, ZimmWriter doesn't just feed this into the AI image model. ZimmWriter will feed this to a text model and then generate your prompt. So we're going to be generating a description of a photograph. Because we're feeding this into a text model, the text model doesn't have our images. It can't read what our images are about. So you don't want to say, for instance, the photograph contains, amongst other things, a person, and then you upload a picture of a man, because then the AI might describe a photograph of a woman. So you do want to be specific. Now, you don't have to say what the man is doing. All right, you just say, hey, there's a photograph of a man. But do not describe what the man looks like. Just describe what he is doing or how he is appearing in the photograph from a contextually relevant standpoint. Now, the reason I do this is when we generate this result, and it's then fed into the AI image model, right? The AI image model will have the image of me, and it can apply that correctly. But we don't want the text model saying this man is skinny, this man has blonde hair, this man doesn't have a beard or something like that. So we don't want to describe, if we're uploading a photo of a person, what that person looks like. We just want the fact that there's a person in here, if that makes sense. You're going to have to do some testing with this to play with it. But take a photograph, pause the video, take a photograph or whatnot of this right here. And this is how I would get started, I suppose, with a blog post. Now, let's do our subheading image model. So that's just our featured image. But let's do some subheading images. So we'll come down here, we'll select Banana 3 also. And you can supply your reference images or your URL if you want to. And save choices. And you'll have a new prompt in here. So I have a new prompt called reference blog post. So in a subheading prompt, not only do we need title in there, we also need the phrase subheading in curly brackets. The subheading is going to be whatever subheading is going to be generated. So in this example right here, a subheading is embrace lifelong learning through diverse knowledge acquisition. So as Zimwriter is writing your article, when it comes time to feed this in to the textual AI model to get that description of the photograph, it's going to substitute the blog post title in for here and substitute this subheading in for right here. Again, you don't have to do that. Zimwriter does it. You'll put in the literal word title somewhere in your prompt in curly brackets and the literal word subheading in your prompt in curly brackets. I also usually encase them in quotes so there's no confusion with the AI about what you're referring to. So this is a good prompt. You can, again, pause the video, take a photo of this. It's a great starting point to start generating your blog post with this. Let's look at our product review. So this is a review of our Transformers product. And I did this in the Penny Arcade. So same thing, you'll put a link in the Penny Arcade to whatever product you're going to review. For instance, I put this link in here to Amazon. And we'll come over here and select our image model, which will be Nano Banana 3 Pro. Although, again, you can select 2.5 Flash if you want to. You'll click O. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. In Zimwriter, assuming you have a Data for SEO API key or a ScrapeL API key, you can scrape Amazon stuff. And this is a link to an Amazon product. And so because we're scraping it from Amazon, it's going to use Scraping Surgeon. And Scraping Surgeon is pre-configured inside of Zimwriter to pull the featured image, to identify on the page where that is and use that. So we're going to use Scraping Surgeon, the featured image, as one of our reference images. But then we want to combine that with a picture of me or a picture of you or somebody using the product. Or you can combine it with another image if you want to. But if you're doing a product review, you probably want somebody using the product. So we would specify our URL to an image of us or select an image of us that's locally on our computer. And then we'll click Save Choices. And then you want a prompt for that. So the prompt I used was this right here. Describe a photograph of a man playing with this toy, and then colon, quotes, curly brackets, title. All right, so the toy would be Transformer Toys Heroic Optimus Prime Action Figure Review. In the AI can figure out what the toy is from that. Again, do not describe what the man looks like, but just describe what he is doing or how he is appearing in the photograph from a contextually relevant standpoint. Make the scene funny. So I added this, not for this particular one. See if I can get back here and show you a funny one. Here's a funny one. I did a product review of this KitchenAid mixer. Here I am, I'm wearing the bowl on top of my head and doing all this stuff. So you can tweak the prompt a little bit and just do a lot of testing. You can get some really amazing things with it. And so we've configured that, and then you configure all your other options. You'll start the Penny Arcade and you'll get really high quality stuff. Now let's do a product roundup. Those are a lot of fun. So product roundups are found in the AI Vault. And for the product roundup, again, you'll need that Data for SEO API key or a ScrapeL API key. You'll click on bulk product roundups and we'll put in something like cat toys. We'll start the roundup and it's going to go to Amazon right now and fetch up to 15 different products that relate to cat toys for us. You don't have to do a 15 product review roundup, but it will at least give you those 15 that you can then go through and curate if you want to. So here's the first product, MigPaws Automatic Midgie Cat Toys 3-in-1. So we'll go to our featured image and we'll select a model that can accept a reference image. We'll do Nano Banana 3 again, and we'll go over here and we'll enable Scraping Surgeon again. And now what this is going to do is when Zimwriter writes the article, the very first product that it reviews, assuming it's from Amazon or it's tied to Scraping Surgeon, it will get the image from that and use that as the reference image. So it's the very first product. So in our situation here, the very first product would be this. Now, if you don't want that to be the featured image that you are playing with or your favorite cat is playing with or whatever, then find what you do want to be and put it at the top. We'll do that, and then we'll load something locally. Now, you want to be the person that's using the product, that's reviewing the product, then load a photo yourself. You want your cat to be the person using the product, load a photo of your cat. You get the point. Or you could do something online too. You could load a URL from online. Or maybe you have a picture of inside of your, the possibilities are endless. You could load a picture of inside of a house and then load an image of you or your cat. And that way you'll have a standardized kitchen, so to speak, or a standardized playroom or whatever. So your background will match perfectly in every single image. That's something you could also do. So many different possibilities with this. Once you've configured everything, you'll click Save Changes, and then we need our prompt for that. I think this is the prompt. Now, this is a little bit more tricky to do, and this is very, very important to pay attention to. Going over here for a second, in our prompt, our image prompt, we could give the AI a hint about what this toy, this product that we're reviewing is, because we're only reviewing one product here. And this is the product. But over here, we have a lot of products. All right, we have this kids bow, and then there's these fidget spinners, and there's this arcade basketball game. And the problem is, and this is so important to understand, because we're feeding this into a text model and we're asking for a featured image, we don't have any reference to the product itself. ZimmWriter, it'd just be too complicated to have a way to refer to the product itself in this particular situation. So this is what you do. You say, you put in, you gotta have the phrase title in here for your featured image. So title in curly brackets up top, a new line, and then say, write the following statement, colon, a man, or you could say a cat or a dog or a woman or whatever. A man is in, so we're saying, write the following statement, colon, quote, a man is playing with a toy. He is reliving his childhood. Do not, and then period, end quote, and then I say, do not write anything else. So what's going to happen is the AI is basically just going to write this. That's all it's going to write. And it's going to take that phrase, we're going to feed this to the text API. It's going to write this exact phrase, nothing more, nothing less, because it's pretty good at following this type of direction. So, and then we'll take this phrase, ZimmWriter will take this phrase and then feed it with whatever reference images you have, which in this case is this right here, plus our uploaded image of me, and feed those three things, the image of me, the image of the toy, and in this phrase, into the AI image model. And the AI image model will be able to come up with something, right? And it came up with this. Worked out pretty well. If you try to get creative, if you just say, describe a photo of a man playing with a product, well, then the text AI model is going to just come up with some kind of a product. It's not going to know what product we're dealing with. So again, we don't want to say what the man looks like, or the person, or the cat, or whatever it is. And we don't want to describe what the toy looks like, because the AI would go off on a tangent and come up with something that doesn't make any sense. So take a photo of that if you need to. As for subheading images, I'm using these product boxes that are created by this plugin called AFFI. If you don't use that, then ZimmWriter will just get the image of the product and put it right here. I don't know if you can combine it with something like this or not, and then turn on scraping surgeon. You have to play with that. I don't know if that works or not. It might work. I don't know. But it would get really expensive to do it on these subheading images. So in my opinion, to save money, you should just be doing this on the featured image, and then just allowing ZimmWriter to either use the image of the product from Amazon or build these nice product boxes. You don't have to get all fancy. And then finally, you can do all this inside of the bulk image generator too. So you can put in whatever you want. Now, again, the AI is not going to have any idea about the context of the images. So you could say a person using a product and doing something funny. Now, normally you would put like the title in here, but we're doing a little hack. So we put a line in here, almost like a little prompt. A person using a product and doing something funny. Over here, we'd put in a title. And then we click this button right here, skip creating the intermediary prompt. And that way, this is the exact thing that's going to be fed into the AI image model. We're skipping the middleman. We're skipping that text model to generate the final prompt to feed into the AI image model. We're not going to do that. We're just skipping that by clicking this button and doing it this way. And then you'll select your model over here, like Nano Banana 3, options, and then you can upload whatever you want. You can do a product from a URL, or you could do a local file, whatever you want. There's so many different possibilities. I'm sure you'll come up with a bazillion different use cases for this thing. Yeah, so that's it. It's live right now. There's a couple more pretty amazing changes in this release. I don't want to go on and on. You can read more about those in the changelog on my site, rankingtactics.com. You can go to ZimmWriter.com to get ZimmWriter if you need it. One more thing, if you've stuck around a little bit, one more thing, check out my new site. You got to check this out. I got a lot of freebies for you, tons and tons of free goodies, a free prompting course, completely free, 33 lessons. I've spent 2 months making this thing. I wrote it all by hand. I did have AI edit it, clean it up and stuff. Wrote all this stuff by hand. All right, high quality stuff. If you want to learn how to become an expert at prompting, you got to take this course completely free. Getprompted.ai. Getprompted.ai. Click on free course. I also have free GPTs. All right, you go to my site, getprompted.ai. Click on free GPTs. You come down here. These are all free GPTs. They're all for copywriting, email marketing, social media writer, video script writing, advertisement writing, all this stuff completely free. You just make a free account on ChatGPT. You can use these things completely free. Check it all out. Yeah, I think that's it. That was a lot. It's Saturday night, but I was so excited about this. Not only was Nano Banana 3 a really cool release, but now we can do something really practical with it. There's a lot of people using it to make cool photos and whatnot, but what do you actually do with that? Here's a practical way you can use that. You can use that inside of your blog posts, inside of your product roundups, inside of your product reviews. Very, very cool. I'd love to hear what you guys think, how you're all using it. Drop a comment down below. Subscribe. There's also links to all kinds of stuff in the description, links to my 15,000 member group and all kinds of other goodies. Check it all out at your leisure. Hey, good luck with your content generation. Good luck, and I will talk to you later.